Welcome to PuckPod by BD Sports. This is episode 29. This is the episode before the playoffs. Something that everybody's been excited for, well, since day one of the season, because this is what really counts. This is what really matters. Unfortunately, my team didn't make it. It's okay. Other teams did. I know these guys are super excited for Tuesday. That's when their Toronto Maple Leafs take game one of the series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Spoiler alert, I do have the Leafs to win that series this year. So hope I did jinx you guys, but before we start, I just want to ask these guys, like, how was your week, Christian?
My week was pretty good. Had two exams from after Easter, and I basically had the sequel to Easter as my weekend. Just like family events left, right, and center. Two birthdays to celebrate. Visiting both sides of the family, so lots of eating. It really just felt like Easter the sequel for me. But pretty good week. Can't complain with Easter the sequel. Lots of good food, and now full focus towards the playoffs. Yeah.
I also just wanted to congratulate you for graduating, finally.
We need that confirmation email first, man. That's what we're waiting for. But hey, I'm confident.
It's in the works. It's coming.
It's happening.
The negotiations went well, and the contract's being written up. Just waiting for it to be sent over. Yeah.
How was your week,
Thank
Dave?
you.
Hectic. My brother had his confirmation this past week, so it was like one day we were at the church. The other, like yesterday, we did a lunch and stuff, so that kind of took up 2 days. Besides that and work, it was my birthday on Friday. So that was another day kind of like down the drain as well. I had to do a couple of other things before, and then at night, I just went out for a couple of drinks and we called it a night. It was pretty good.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it. I did nothing this week. It's like you graduated, you had your birthday. Yeah, I just like
I
typical
just
week.
went about life.
That's how
Yeah,
it is sometimes, man.
it's like this week and last week to me were like parallels. Like they just like went side by side, just normal stuff. Like
Okay.
yeah.
Did you at least like take advantage of some of the good weather or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Toronto.
So
Yeah,
hey,
but then you look outside now. It's like we're not gonna get good weather
Dude, this
for the next
entire
little bit.
week's gonna be brutal. It's gonna hit like minus. It's gonna hit minuses again some point this week.
It's like Colorado weather, boys.
What?
oh boy.
All right,
Brian, before you start, I'm just gonna open this now because the rest of the
yeah.
pod is gonna be serious talk. So we're gonna do the fun stuff now. This is new Tim's pack. I like me and Dave were talking about it. He saw advertising on TikTok. I didn't see anything. Brian saw nothing. I had no idea these were a thing. I just want to see.
I saw I saw it yesterday, I think, or the day before.
Okay,
and one.
Interesting.
So it's
okay. We have some content.
We'll never pass up an opportunity on here to open Tim Hortons, like the card packs that they sell. So Tim's, if you ever decide to like watch one of these and you're like, hey, let's
send them over,
guys, like our inboxes are always open.
Yeah, just send me like I'm sure there's like a autographed Wayne Gretzky card. We'll check that out for you. We'll really showcase that one for you. We got Timo Solani start in the Jets jersey.
Yeah,
so rookie Timo Solani. That's pretty cool.
That's 70 goals, Timo Solani.
Exactly. Some pseudo Leafs content in Brendan Shanahan in his Red Wings days. Shout out to Shanny. And the special card was Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson was first in plus minus ratio all time, boys. That's what we gotta know. You want to take a guess, guys, at his plus minus over 20 NHL seasons?
I have no idea.
Throw out a random number.
I'm gonna say, is it 3 digits? I'm gonna say plus
it's
101. Plus 101.
The answer is plus 722. Absurd. Shout out to
Analytics darling, Larry Robinson, baby.
You know what? That's kind of interesting. They're all legends. It's kind of
that was a good pack. Like in terms of like name brands, like those are some actual legends. Yeah. Pretty cool.
I'll probably stop by Tibbs later today. Just get a time. But let's get into the first series. We're just gonna fly by the series, and then we're just gonna give these guys a chance to talk about their team because they earned it. Their team earned it. My team didn't, but it's okay. So the first series that we're gonna talk about on the other side of the bracket is Colorado versus Seattle. I'll be honest with you guys. I have Colorado winning in 5. Great season from the Kraken. First time making the playoffs. I think Dave Haxtell should be in the Jack Adams conversation, but that's where their luck ends. Oh, actually, you know what? Matty Beniers Rookie of the Year. That's where their luck ends as well. Nate McKinnon is just too good. He's gonna steamroll this Seattle Kraken team with no playoff experience. But good for them making the playoffs for the first time ever. What's your take, boys?
Yeah, I do. I mean, five. I mean, five might be giving Seattle the benefit of the doubt just because Cale Makar is probably going to be out. I don't know if he's going to be out for the whole series or at least the first few games. So maybe Seattle could squeeze out a win at home. If Seattle squeezes out a win at home, I think that's job done for them. Like they're not the Vegas Golden Knights of what 2017. So for them to be in this position right now is probably like they're way ahead of schedule for like what they should actually be. So you know what? Just enjoy while it lasts, guys.
I really wanted to cheer for Seattle. Like I really wanted to go into the playoffs. I was hoping they could match up against Vegas and I could really, I could see a world where maybe they do it. But yeah, against Colorado, it's really tough to see it just because of how on fire Colorado's been to end the year, right? They've been tearing it up. McKinnon ends the season with a hat trick. When Nathan McKinnon starts looking like that, like, there's not much you can do. And the Seattle Kraken weakest link is goaltending or lack thereof, right? I look at their roster and it's honestly pretty solid on the back end and up front. Like their calling card is depth for sure. And they do have a teensy little bit of star power if you want to consider Matty Beniers that in his rookie season. You can even maybe give Jared McCann the star label based on how he's played this year. But outside of that, it is depth guys who have performed well. Just no true game breakers, and I think that's what's going to do them in. But I like you guys said, one win here. Like if they can get it to Game 5, one win to me is a success on the season. To get that first playoff win in franchise history would be nice to see. And I think that's something you can build on next season.
Moral of the story is Seattle, they're on the way up, but the Colorado are the defending champions for a reason, and they'll likely show why this week. Okay, let's move into the next series. Dallas Wild. I have Dallas taking it in 6. Minnesota have had a great season, but I think that we've talked about it so much. Salary, like the money that they have on the team, there's so much being locked up in dead cap space, in the sense that it didn't let them get that good roster. Meanwhile, Dallas has had value players just show up, right? Like they've had Hins, they have Robertson on value deals. Pavelski's playing out of his mind, and Dallas also have a playoff goalie. Do you guys not remember how good Jake Ottinger was last year? Fantastic. And I think that Dallas might actually go to the final. That's my pick, at least. That's how it is, my bracket. But fingers crossed they do well. And yeah, Dallas in 6 for me, boys. Dave?
Dude, I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking Dallas in 5. I think if Jake Ottinger plays the exact same, like that exact same level that he did against Calgary last year, I think Dallas got kind of unlucky to not, take that. They lost in what, 5 or 6 last year. They should have maybe even taken that to 7 and could have even won the series. Knowing what we know about the Calgary Flames right now this season, it's they're a completely different team, and so are the Dallas Stars. They have more firepower. They're more stingy on defense, helping out their goaltender. If you remember last year, Calgary was putting up an ungodly amount of shots on Jake Ottinger, and he was holding the fort. If they could, reduce his workload a little bit, keep Ottinger fresh, and also limit those high danger chances, and with the increased firepower, Mason Marchment coming in, Jason Robertson becoming almost basically a superstar that nobody talks about, they have a chance to take a couple of rounds, I think, personally.
Christian?
I think those are all well-made points, boys. I'm just looking at the depth charts here for Minnesota, and I didn't realize that they've basically got their own Matthew Nyes. They've got Brock Faber coming in on defense, and unlike the Leafs, so we'll get to later, they're
We'll
gonna
get there.
probably slot their rookie. Yeah, I know. They're gonna slot their rookie into the Game 1 lineup. It looks like they've got Brock Faber in the top 6 for defense right now. So that's just an interesting tidbit I wanted to throw out there. I do echo your guys' thoughts where I do see Dallas in 6. Looking at their depth chart as well, like they're running a third line right now of Marchment, Domi, Sagan. Like that's a
Fantastic.
line that could feast on the bottom 6 minutes against the Wild. Um, I think one of the stories of the season for Dallas that really gives them depth is Wyatt Johnston, who I want to say had 23 goals as a rookie. Like that's not nothing. He's slotted right now as their second line center, and he's part of the reason that I think that the Dallas can definitely get this done in 6. Miro Heiskanen has taken it to another level in the regular season after showing us that he does that already in the postseason, just going back to their bubble run there, and he's never looked back since. So the emergence of Miro, Y. Johnston, and low key the return of Jamie Benn. I think he finished with mid-70s points. Like that is not the Jamie Benn we've been seeing for the past couple seasons. I think those are all really good reasons why Dallas can take this. And just on the Minnesota front, if Philip Gustafson can do his best Jake Ottinger impression, I think that's their recipe to maybe taking this series. They do have a star who can probably go toe to toe with Jason Robertson. They have Kirill Kaprizov, but it is those depth guys for Dallas to me that they just got a little bit more firepower. It'll be a good series though. That's basically what we're gonna call that the Minnesota North Stars Bowl. Like whoever wins this
Yeah.
series gets to wear the North Star jerseys. I think that's what's up here. But yeah, Dallas in 6.
Okay, so then we have the next series, Vegas Golden Knights versus the Winnipeg Jets. I have the Golden Knights winning in 6 games. I think it will be a hard fought battle. And I think what's going to put them over is just the star power. I think Jack Eichel is going to finally, after all these years, get a chance to show what he can really do in the playoffs. And I just think Vegas is the deeper team, top to bottom. They have guys like Pietrangelo, Martinez, guys and Theodore with lots of playoff experience. And that's going to be what sets them over the top. How about you, Dave?
Oh, I am debating here whether to go sweep or 5 games. I'm giving the Winnipeg Jets no chance to come out of the first round. They have been one of the biggest messes in hockey over the past, I would say, 24 to 36 months. Over the past couple of years, it's always been kind of understated how poor the leadership in that locker room has been. And now, there was quotes coming out during the season. It seemed like Rick Bowness didn't have quite a hold on the team. And I think it's just a dam waiting to burst. And I think this might be it. They stripped Blake Wheeler of captaincy last year, but he's still on the team. They really haven't done anything to freshen up that team. They're playing guys like Nikolai Ehlers like 14 minutes a night, even though probably should be playing a little bit more than that. He's got an X factor to him. I think I've been high on Vegas as well all year. I think Vegas, I'll give Winnipeg the benefit of the doubt. I like Connor Hellebuck. I'll say Vegas in 5.
See, I feel like me and Dave, we sometimes differ in like I like to get into like some of the nitty gritty like analytic stuff, and then Dave is really good at just like giving us the story behind series here. Well, I want to bring a couple of my own stories here, just some poetic things that are happening in this series. When was the last time that we saw Winnipeg like at their greatest form? It was against the Vegas Golden Knights in the conference finals in 2018, right? So I do think it's poetic that this could also close the book of the Winnipeg Jets because yes, I'm also taking Vegas to win this series. Honestly, I might take them in 5 myself. I think that Winnipeg, it's hilarious how we came into the season saying this is a team who's going to have a lot of turmoil. They kind of shut us up early because it did look like they were on a roll as late as January, and the wheels totally fell off. And we're back at square one, seeing the team kind of in turmoil, limping their way into the playoffs. And they're also going up against their former goaltender as the starter. It's not Logan Thompson. It's not Aiden Hill. It's not Jonathan Quick. It's going to be Laurent Brossoit on the revenge tour. So that's a little interesting as well. They've got a ton of goalies to choose from, and they're going with Brossoit. I do really like the Vegas Golden Knights D pairs, like Shea Theodore, Pietrangelo, Zach Whitecloud, Brandon McNabb, Alec Martinez, like Nick Hague. That's all 6 guys right there. Those are all formidable dudes. Maybe Whitecloud is like on the edge, but I like Whitecloud. Up front, if they get Mark Stone back, who magically reappears from LTIR as one does, that's obviously huge. I'm really excited to see Jack Eichel because I feel like he's the type of guy who could take over a series. He's gonna be the guy I watch the most. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but I'm not really giving Winnipeg much of a chance to either. Knights in 5 as well.
It might be a good thing if the Jets do blow up because like that means Steelers would be a capital this offseason. Anybody?
This guy,
Anybody?
man, this guy.
Okay. You mentioned Jack Eichel. Let's talk about the guy that was drafted one spot above him. Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers face the Los Angeles Kings in round 1 of this playoffs. I think that Edmonton are gonna win 5 games. I think McDavid and Draisaitl like are gonna just take it over. I think the Oilers are the hottest team going into the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the record off the top of my head, but the Ty Sekholm effect, as Christian said, uh, it's really boosted their. It's like they fix their defense in one trade, meanwhile maintaining their hot offense. And I find it super interesting how, you know, this is the year in the sense that McDavid got the game breaking record, whatever regular season record in the past 30 years. And let's see if he's able to convert that into playoff success. So yeah, Oilers in 6 for me. How about you, Dave?
You know what? I think this is going to be the first of many series. I don't know how many series are going to go to the distance this year, but this is going to be the first one. We got a rematch from last year. That one as well went all 7. This year, the Kings have, Brian, you mentioned that the Oilers have been the hottest team. Well, guess who probably the second hottest team in the league has been? It's been the Los Angeles Kings. Top to bottom, they are structurally sound. Like they are built so like a chef's kiss. Like you couldn't ask for anything. They needed that one missing piece in goaltending, and they found it in Jonas Korpisalo, who's actually been lights out as well. And me and Christian saw Korpisalo in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Like when that guy turns it on in the playoffs, he'll turn it on. So I think there's only going to be, I think only a couple of series off the top of my head that are going to go the distance. And I think this is going to be one of them, big rematch for Connor McDavid and for Philip Deneau and his guys. They have something to prove now. Quentin Byfield, I mean, maybe you want to see him step up now. This is probably his first real chance in the playoffs to make an impression, and what a better time to start. So, but I'm still going to go Edmonton. I think that game-breaking talent is going to carry them pretty far in this cup run. So Edmonton in 7.
Oh man, I honestly I heard you guys speak, and I think Brian said, did you say in 5 or in 6, Brian? I think you said in 6. Okay. And Dave says in 7. And honestly, I was even debating in 5 for the Oilers, but I think I will land in the middle. I'm gonna go with the Oilers in 6. And Brian also mentioned the Matthias Ekholm effect. Guys, how about the Nick Bukestad effect, boys? That's what we gotta really be talking about here. I kid, but the Bukestad. No, Ekholm has totally, and we saw it from game 1, right? Ekholm made his Oilers debut against the Leafs. That dude, he's got like the killer eyes. Like he's on a face-off and he will stare into your soul. And by the end of your shift, your soul might have left your body because that guy's coming for you, man. So he's been incredible. He's been a totally new player. The Oilers have been an improved team since he came in. I think the Oilers have just kind of become the sexy pick as the cup winner. If you don't want to pick Boston, a lot of people are leaning Edmonton, may or may not be doing that as well. Yeah, they don't. I don't know if Team of Destiny is the right word because I feel like it's way too early to call anybody Team of Destiny before the playoffs have even began. But they have the makings of that, and if they can continue their incredible form in round 1 and make tidy work of the Kings, yeah, they can definitely go far. I do feel bad for the Kings in having to draw the Oilers again because I don't see a world in where they can win this one. They are an improved team. This is a team that added Korpisalo, Gavrikov, Kevin Fiala in the offseason, Quinton Byfield growing as a player. Like those are a lot of new additions. But I mean, what McDavid has done this year, that might be like adding 5 players. So tough luck, LA. Oilers in 6.
Okay, let's move into the East. Battle of the Hudson Bay. Or the Hudson River. We have New Jersey Devils versus New York Rangers. I have the Devils in 7. I think this is going to be the only series that goes to 7 out of all the round 1 games. Okay, let me start with like the Devils and why I think that they're gonna win.
Jack Hughes.
First off, okay, that too. First off, I will never ever pick the Rangers in any series. I just can't. It's impossible for me to do that. But something that something that the Devils did that was pretty interesting was that they switched Siegenthaler off with the line Marino off the second period, and they promoted Siegenthaler to the first line with Hamilton. Siegenthaler's defensive metrics are off the like through the roof right now. What does that mean? It means that Dougie Hamilton gets to play offensively and have fun and just do his thing. I don't know if you guys saw, but I think Dougie Hamilton has like close to 60 points this season.
And
He's
Pretty
got
20
20
ridiculous.
something
goals.
goals. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's because this not really a Siegenthaler effect per se, because I gotta give some credit to Hamilton. Hamilton's fantastic, but you put those two together and it just works on paper in my mind, right? They also have Damon Severson, I think, on the third pairing now. Pretty interesting.
Who's he
And
playing with?
well, he's playing with an X Factor, the guy that just came up. His name is Luke Hughes. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys have heard of him or if I've talked about him at all, but
Yeah.
he's also related to probably the best player on this team, Jack Hughes. This guy's the real deal. He's proved it this season. 99 points after, people disregarded him for the past couple of years. He's really turned it up this year. They also added Timo Meyer. He's been waiting to prove himself in the playoffs. And some guy that's really stepped up this season, I know Christian's a huge fan of him, is Dawson Mercer. This guy's ridiculous. And he will be playing with either Jack Hughes or Nico Hischier, two fantastic centers. And they also added Andre Palat. Andre Palat has so much success with the Bulls over the past few years. This guy has all the experience he could possibly need. And this might be the year that he takes it to another level because of the fact that now he's in control. This is not his team, but he has the veteran leadership to bring to this team, if that makes sense. So Devils will take the series in 7. We hate the Rangers, and Vitek Vanacek is better than Sherstaken. That was
What?
that is not the truth.
Oh,
I just
that's
said
a
that.
hot take.
That is not
That's
the
real
truth.
hot.
That's fandom speaking. That's understandable.
I just hate the Rangers, and I hope that this implodes in their face. Okay, sorry, Dave. How about you?
Dude, you summed up everything perfectly, Bri. I'm just gonna say Devils in 7. The only reason why is that I have a bet that the Devils make it to the conference finals, and I would like to see $20 like come to me instead of me giving away $20. So let's go Devils! Dude, if I'll put this on camera right now. If the Devils make the Stanley Cup Finals, okay, I'm gonna think. I will dress up as David Putty with a Jersey Devils thing, like full face paint from Seinfeld. If you guys don't know, and I'll get the Devils jersey, Jack Hughes on the back.
That sounds
I
incredible.
might join with that one.
I'm no longer cheering for the Leafs. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, guys, I gotta go with my Rangers because as Dave said, I also have money on the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup, and that is from last summer, $4 to turn into $100. So yeah, let's go Rangers. But honestly, even if I didn't have this bet, I do think it's going the distance. But I am taking the Rangers in 7. I said it when the deadline ended. Outside of Boston, I think the Rangers, on paper, have the best looking roster, just from top to bottom, 1 through 12 on forward, 1 through 6 on defense. Starting goalie, back goalie, maybe not, but their starting goal is pretty damn good. He actually had a shaky start to the playoffs last year, Shesterkin, because if we remember, Penguins took a 3-1 series lead, I believe it was, on the Rangers before choking that. So he's got to show up on time this time around. How this could blow up in the Rangers' face is if Gerard Gallant likes to not play lines how they're supposed to be played again like last year. But I really find that hard for him to do this year because like you got all the good guys. Like he could probably make mistakes and still have it work out because the Rangers are that freaking deep. I know a lot of people say they've got too many cooks in the kitchen now. What's their power play 1 going to look like versus power play 2? I really don't buy into any of that, to be honest. Kane, it's really unfortunate that it seems like his hip thing is really affecting him. I don't know if we're going to see playoff Kane on the Rangers, but I just like their established core too much. Adam Fox is incredible. I love Mika Zibanejad. Panarin's pretty freaking good, and that kid line is only better than last year, and it was an X factor in the playoffs last season. So an improved kid line can only do wonders. On the Devils front, I do want to give them some kudos because like you guys brought up good points. Brian just went through all the players, and I'm like, I love that player. I love that player. I love this player. And yet I'm not taking them to win. Dawson Mercer, to me, like that guy's he's scored an overtime goal in the playoffs. Okay. He's just that type of guy. I would have him on my team. Like if I was a GM, I can just choose any player. Like he's automatically on my team. I don't know where, but he's on my team. I do think winner of this series goes to the conference finals. I think whoever wins round two, they're in the conference finals. Rangers in 7. This is the series outside of the Leafs one that I'm most excited to watch.
That's a good take. And we'll also move into the next series with that. We have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. This is a weird matchup in the sense that it's system versus system. And I think that what's going to take the Hurricanes over the Islanders is just that they have a little bit of extra star power. I know the Islanders added Horvat, Barzal's a star in itself, but Pavel Teravainen, Sebastian Aho, they just have that magic. Martin Nikic too. That's another guy that's gone under the radar. Fantastic player. And he actually killed us in the Stadium Series game. And I just have that memory. Like it's etched in my head. I don't know what it is. And
your sleep paralysis demon is Martin Nikic now.
Yeah. And then you have Rod Vindamore, the guy that's gonna motivate these guys to the next level. And they're just gonna chase the Islanders around the whole series. Hurricanes in 5.
Ooh, my God.
Wow. Dave, these are your Islanders. What do you got to say to that, man?
Well, Bry, I'm sorry to have to do this to you, but I genuinely think that the Islanders, okay, they're not going to go on a run like in years past, but I don't think the Hurricanes are what everybody thinks that they are. Their systems are fantastic, but they're going to be flawed going up against this strict, stingy, tough New York Islanders team. They're the Carolina Hurricanes won't get any breathing room. And maybe that's the way that they like it. But the biggest thing I'm looking for in this series is goaltending. How does Ilya Sorokin compare to Freddie Anderson? And it's kind of like the ghost of Freddie Anderson. It's not Freddie Anderson when he was stealing games against the Boston Bruins in 2017 and 2018, right? Freddie Anderson's gone through his ups and downs over the past few years, lots of injuries, stuff like that. In relief, is it Antti Ranta that's backing him up, who's another guy who's gone ups and downs with injuries. Then after that, it's Pyotr Konchektov, who's a rookie. Like, I'm taking the goaltending from, and I said this from the start of the season, I was taking the goaltending of the Islanders 10 times out of 10 on a Sunday, dude. Give me Islanders in, I'm going to say 6.
Wow. Look at the hot take there from Dave, man. I'm gonna tail Dave here, and I'm going to say Islanders in 7. I think this is a series that's going to be dominated by home ice advantage. Well, not home ice advantage, because then I'd be giving the Hurricanes the edge, but I think a lot of games will be won on home ice. These are both teams who have a great atmosphere in their home buildings. But I think the Islanders are just going to have that edge. They're going to get some stupid balance in game 7. Very Islanders, and like freaking Cal Clutterbuck's going to score, man. Like I do see it. I feel for Hurricanes fans because, man, this team, if it had Pacioretty, if it had Andrei Svechnikov, if they somehow added someone else at the deadline, like this would have been a totally loaded team. It's just unfortunately not what we're dealing with. It's not. I do think the Islanders can be had for some of the reasons that Dave outlined. Goaltending, they can be had there. Looking at a parallel from last year, we talked about Calgary, Dallas last year. This has the potential to be that series this year, where it's just suffocating defensive systems where nothing happens. There's like the shots could be 45-43, and it could all be from the blue line from either of these teams. Like it's one of those series here, which sometimes it's kind of fun to watch. Sometimes, like Calgary, Dallas last year, that was a goaltending show. If we get a goaltending show here, that would be cool. But I actually think that Bo Horvat is part of the reason that I give the edge to the Islanders here, because I always go back to seeing his performance in the bubble year. He was incredible, especially against the St. Louis Blues. He scored a bunch of highlight reel goals. And I think he's just a playoff gamer. I think that's what's up. And he's gonna He's gonna hopefully prove me right here. I don't usually cheer for the Islanders, and I genuinely like the Hurricanes, but I do have that feeling it goes the distance, and the Islanders get the lucky bounce.
Talking about a team you will never cheer for, the Boston Bruins take on the Florida Panthers in round one. So I'm gonna give a little eulogy for the Panthers quickly. Uh, Alexander Barkov, you are a absolute stud. You are definitely a top.
But you are no longer underrated, okay? We've done
Yes, you're
this
no
too many times. You were properly rated. Everyone knows you're good. You're awesome, but you're not underrated. I just
not
wanted to say that.
underrated
Sorry.
anymore. But he, I gotta give my kudos to him. Matthew Tkachuk, I think he should be in the MVP conversation. He will not win, I don't think, nor should he, but he's definitely top five. Carter Verhaeghe, great season. I think he had like 35 goals, 39 goals, something along the
Honestly,
He
lines
I
had
of that.
think he had
40.
40, man.
He had
Yeah.
40?
40
Okay.
goals
Yeah.
for Carter Verhaeghe.
Eric Stahl revitalized his career. Colin White wasn't too bad either. And Brandon Montour, great season from him. Yeah, Bruins in four. Like they're just like this is probably the best team that we've seen like in our lifetime. I think that's fair to say. And like every single player plays with heart. Every single player can play in any position, any line, and they won't complain about it. And Pasternak like had a quietly ridiculous season. Like no one's talking about him this year. I don't know what it is, but 61 goals, 52 assists. It's like I haven't heard anything just because like the Bruins record and everything else has overshadowed it. Also, they have two goalies that have insane stats. I'm not too sure what they are off the top of my head, but Olmark and Swayman, I don't think there's a better tandem in the league. I mean, you
No,
compare
I don't
starter
think so.
and backup.
Yeah.
Adding Orlov, like
And
Orlov,
Garnet. Don't forget
yeah,
about Garnet Hathaway, man.
Yeah,
Fourth
man.
line special.
I don't know. I just see it in four. I can see the Bruins just steamrolling them. But what I will also say is the um if the Panthers do win, is Sergei Rybovsky known as the President's Trophy killer? Because he would also be the goalie that
Well, is he playing in the series? That's the big question.
Yeah, he's the
I
backup,
don't even
man.
know if they go
that's
to
true.
him
There's
Like
a
to
new
start.
there's a new starter in town,
Leon,
boys.
Alex Leon, yeah.
Alex
But
Lyon.
at the end of the day, like if it happens, right? Like he's still on that team, or if he doesn't, how at this point I'm just trying to drop something. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think we're all in
I think
agreement
it's
that
yeah.
Listen, I
it's not going to be close.
I really want to say Bruins in 5. I want to give Florida the benefit of the doubt. I love Barkov. I love Kachuk. It's just like, is Alex Lyon going to pull a game out of the hat? He could. He very well could. He could have a 50 save shutout performance, but he could also get lit up for like 50 goals in like 4 games, right? Like it could be the tale of
It's
of
possible.
two teams right here, but I don't see any way where this series makes it to even 6 games. Unfortunately, it's just like better luck next year, Florida. Honestly, maybe build up again, make another run at it, and hopefully the Bruins aren't a absolute juggernaut.
As a wise philosopher, not from Russia, a wise philosopher from I actually don't know where he is, but he currently resides in Calgary. As of 2022, he had this quote. He said, "Going up against the Colorado Avalanche would be a waste of 8 days." And yeah, that's what this is for the Panthers. This is a waste of 8 days against the Boston Bruins. It's going to be the Bruins in four. Um, I don't even have a ton to add here. I'm really not even like looking for the hockey stuff going on. I just want to see the Chuck bullcrap versus Marchand bullcrap. Sam Bennett maybe drops the gloves with his freaking six stash that he's always got. You got Brian Lomberg, who like, I feel like he gets like suspended once a year. I don't know why. He's a guy that doesn't really get talked about. He just does something. So he's gonna throw some crazy hit, and everyone's gonna be mad. There's just gonna be a bunch of shenanigans going on in the series. I like every game could be 7-0 Bruins. I'm just looking forward to what bullcrap the Panthers do. I'm sorry, Paul Maurice and the Panthers, but yeah, you're being buried alive here.
All right, let's move into the next series before we go into our quick break. Penguins versus Capitals, round one.
You threw me off guard there, Brian. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It took
Listen,
I
I'm
was
trying
I had
to.
a delayed
I'm
reaction there,
counting down
man. Oh.
I was counting down the teams, and I was like, wait a minute. There's one more before the big one.
Penguins versus Capitals.
Who wins?
Yeah,
Who wins? Connor Bedard is the well. The Penguins can't. I don't
yeah, they
think,
can't.
right?
Well, no, they
But you
can't.
guys can. So
We can, and hopefully we will win the lottery. And but we're not gonna get into that right now. We're just gonna go on a quick break. We'll be right back.